Since we're
Dandavat.
a little early, we've got our translators all queued up. Chaitanya Moy Devidasi and Brajasundari Devidasi, Paneshwari Devidasi. Wow, and we have Shyama Priya, who's also a very capable translator. Udaran Prabhu is a capable translator. Priya Bhakti Prabhu, wow, translate to Australian. And Marianne, good to see you, Marianne. Govinda. And Dayal Gaur Prabhu, Abhazya. Ranga Devinasi, welcome. She's from Germany. She was with us recently. Welcome. And Vishwanath, he's connecting. Chintamani Devinasi with a Japanese temple behind her. But I'm not sure where she is just now. And Kirtida in Norway, welcome. Kirtida, welcome. Hare Krishna. Very welcome indeed. All right, devotees are coming together. And Kirtida sending obeisances, and Rangadev is sending obeisances. Rasananda Prabhu in Sochi is sending obeisances. And actually, I'm sure everyone's sending obeisances here and there. Let us begin. We're a minute in. Devashish Prabhu has joined us, and he's actually our host. But we can begin as we do. It's a short but full vandanam, auspicious invocation, some prayers, and that is Vandeham, Oma Gyan, Namo Maha, and Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. So, slowly together. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitams Cha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trije Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And we do know that there are recordings in the world which aren't in the general library of recordings that seem to be available in various quarters. And how we know? At least one example I know is because I know that my initiation was recorded because I happily heard the recording soon afterwards, because I just wanted to hear again what Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj had said and what he'd expressed. And so I did hear that recording, but I have gone through the recordings of the time when I would have been initiated approximately, and not purposely looking for that recording, but I've gone through that and not reheard that time. So I just mention that because actually when Srila Guru Maharaj gave Harinam, then I know I've been there with different times. He didn't always say, but he did say when gave Harinam to myself and to another devotee who was there. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi, Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He did add that Sri inside there. And I also thought that was happy, giving much honor to the Vaishnavas, all the devotees, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Anyhow, as I mentioned, at least we know that there are still some recordings somewhere in the world which haven't made it into the mainstream library of the devotees. And by the way, for those who will have fine intelligence in the future, fine capacity to receive from the ether, then there was so much of discussion and from Sri Gurudev, from Srila Guru Maharaj, that was not recorded. A vast amount that is not recorded, and some is recorded. And so one day in the future, some very brilliant person like Bhaktivinoda Thakur could bring from the ether so many things. Sam Goswami could bring from the ether so many things. So in the future, maybe many wonderful revelations, continued revelations from our masters. All right, dear devotees, really we've got a wonderful gathering of devotees with us and from all over the world. And some nearby, here in Italy, Rupak joined, maybe the last one to join here, but one of the nearest to us in Italy. And we've got Suresh Krishna Tongarasa, Maravalata, Devidasi Neelambari in Norway also, and so many Chintami, Ganga Leela Devidasi Danake, so many devotees, Prema Sindhu Prabhu in South Africa. And so here we are with lots of devotees here. And what are we doing? We are engaging in Hari Katha as best we can, with the pointer always coming, the direction always coming to give the focus to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, because they are the wealth for us all in this age. And lots of activity on my screen, devotees joining. And welcome to you all, obeisances to all, as we have just given during our Vandana. And today's theme from Devashish Prabhu is, and I had it and have it, Bhakti Sadhana. Bhakti Sadhana, Anartha nivritti has begun. Now, last week, we were not able to have Devashish Prabhu with us due to health. This week, he is with us. And so my request is that Devashish Prabhu can speak first, and he may have whatever excerpt I'm selected, he may also have, but let Devashish Prabhu speak first, and then I'll continue. And others may also give some insight if you have some feelings, something that you've heard to share on this principle of the title of today's meeting. Bhakti Sadhana, Anartha nivritti has begun. Devashish, kindly.
Jai Maharaj, thank you. First of all, apologies for my bad spelling. Yeah, and I'm happy to be with everybody here again this week. Sorry I couldn't make it last week. But yes, I'm happy to be here. And I'm thinking about this title. I actually haven't got any extract or anything prepared from that, but just in general, just some thoughts in general about that is that, you know, it's mentioned in very clearly in Chaitanya Charitamrita, explaining how the process of bhakti comes from lower to upper, how the devotee progresses. So begin ado shraddha tata sadhu sangha tata bhajana kriya anartha nivritti. So this way, and then I think the next after Anartha nivritti is nishta, and then ruchi. So what that means, and for those of you who aren't, don't know the terminology so well. So ado shraddha means that we get some faith, and even before that, faith is a product of sukriti, which means good fortune. It's nothing to do with our karma, which some people think. It's nothing to do with karma or piety or anything of the kind. It's to do with good fortune. So first is agyata sukriti, when we get some merit or benefit unknowingly. And, many examples of that maybe, when your house maybe is near to a temple and you have some nice flowers growing in the front garden, some roses or something, and one day a devotee comes by, plucks one of those roses and takes it to the temple and offers it. So you were the person who grew that rose, so you get the benefit of that offering to the Lord. And that's called agyata sukriti. It means unknown merit. And then when that you can say draws some what do they call that in the bank? Interest. When you get some interest, a payment of interest on your dividend, your agyata sukriti. Then comes gyata sukriti. Gyata sukriti means knowingly you get some merit, and that may mean that by now you realize, oh, there's a temple of Krishna just nearby. Let me take some roses from my garden to offer to Lord Krishna there. So before someone else did that, you didn't know anything about it, but you got the benefit. Now, with your own volition, with your own goodwill, you want to take something to offer to the Lord. So this is just one example of gyata sukriti, so knowingly. So agyata sukriti, gyata sukriti. And then again, that goes into, you can say, deposited in your spiritual bank account. And then when that gains interest and the dividend is paid out into your account, that's called shraddha. And shraddha means faith. So now you have some faith. Oh, here is Krishna, here are the devotees of Krishna, and so on. And then as your faith becomes a little deeper and stronger, then the desire within you for sadhu sangha arises. It means to associate with the devotees. As we're all doing this evening, we've all come for the association of the devotees, albeit in a virtual, online way. Still, it's association, and that's called sadhu sangha. Or as Srila Sridhar Maharaj would say, birds of the feather, they flock together. Birds of the same feather flock together. So this is normal in all things. We're interested in Krishna consciousness, so we want to mix with those who are also interested in Krishna consciousness. But then when our faith in the sadhu becomes deeper, then we get bhajana kriya. That means we have faith in the sadhu and the Vaishnavas, and generally that manifests by our desire for initiation, to be initiated by a good sadhu, to become their disciple, in other words, which is like a fundamental, essential part of Krishna consciousness, is accepting a spiritual master, because we are to practice Krishna consciousness under the direction of Krishna's devotee. Then that makes it real. It makes it, connected with the proper current. So, if you plug your phone into the wall socket at home to charge it, and you see those little bars going up, it's charging because that socket is connected to the electrical supply. And if you go into some other place and plug it into the wall, but it's not connected, they haven't paid the electric bill or whatever it is, it just sits there, it doesn't charge at all. So similarly in Krishna consciousness, we have to get plugged into the proper current, and that has to come from the proper agent to be connected. And we can say, Initiation means that to get our connection with the true current, with the proper current. So that's called bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya, or is the result of that. And bhajana kriya means to follow the path of bhakti sadhana. The guru, the Vaishnava, will give us some sadhana. Every day, do this. When you get up early in the morning, chant Krishna's names on your japa mala, associate with the devotees, sing the songs of our gurus that have been prescribed for us, worship your deity, and offer your food to Lord Krishna. All of these things, all of this process is bhakti sadhana or bhajana kriya. But the purpose, as we advance, the purpose of bhakti sadhana is the next stage, Anartha nivritti. So Anartha means that which is within us, which is against Krishna consciousness. So we're trying to push our head up above the water and, call out to Krishna, please, Krishna, help us, save us, take us up. But the current's very strong, the current of this material world, and it has a tendency to pull us back down, to pull us under, and to try and take us away from Krishna's service. This is called Maya. We're all very familiar with this. So, by practicing in a determined way our bhakti sadhana, following the instructions of the Guru Vaishnava, who has told us, this is what you should do every day. Chant this many rounds on your japa mala, or, read this book every day, sing these songs every day. And all of these things is not just like some kind of mindless repetition. Otherwise, how, after 40 years, we're still happily, joyfully doing that, singing the same songs that we learned 40 years ago? Because it's a joyful thing. It's a happy thing. And actually, as the days and years pass, we find it to be more relishable and more joyful. And, this is our bhakti sadhana. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, for the madhyamadikari, that means the middle class devotee. So as we know, in general, and it is general, it's not, that there's like some kind of division system. But there's the Kanishta Adhikari, which we all are when we come, the beginners. We come and we don't know anything. We don't know anything about Krishna consciousness. We don't even know how to eat prasadam properly, how to honor prasadam. We don't know how to do anything. So, we're being given that opportunity from the Vaishnavas, from the Guru, some guidance to teach us these things. And when we first come, maybe we're not so much interested in the devotees of Krishna. We're more interested in Krishna directly, seeing the deity in the temple, making some prayers, and all of these things. And this is Kanishta Adhikari. But as we progress, we get to see that the company and the association and the advices of the devotees is not just important to us, it becomes essential to us. Most essential to us if we want to progress in our spiritual life, that we get that good association, that those devotees who are really more advanced than us and attracted to Krishna, serving Krishna and the devotees every day, we want some of that enthusiasm that they have to rub off on us. That's what happens when you associate with someone. Whatever they're into, that'll kind of rub off on you. So if we know that person's really into Krishna consciousness, then hopefully that'll rub off on us and we'll become really into Krishna consciousness also. So when we progress a little and we see that it's not just Krishna, but it's Krishna and his devotees, and the devotees, they want to associate with one another. They want to follow the practices of devotion, and they don't want to be dragged down again into the material world. So, previously maybe we're coming, we're going, sometime we're going to the temple, sometime we're going out with our friends to the pub, sometimes we're doing, in the beginning, all of these things, but as our faith grows, we want to absorb our life more and more in Krishna consciousness. So then we realize that association is not just nice or helpful, it is essential to us, essential for our progress, that we get association of devotees, like-minded devotees, but more particularly those devotees who are more advanced than ourselves. We should be eager for that, looking for that, so that they may be able to pull us up, help us out. So that when you get to that stage, and when Krishna consciousness is affecting every part of your life, so what you do for a living is governed by your ideals that you've learned in Krishna consciousness. Maybe, you know, when you were at college or something like that, you worked in McDonald's to earn a little bit of extra cash, or you worked as a barman in the pub or something, you know. But when you come now, you've thought, oh, but I can't do that. I can't, you know, like serve hamburgers, and I can't be there to serve people alcohol. And also, you know, even what you do for a living, now that's governed by your faith in Krishna consciousness, how you make your way in the world. When these things become like vitally important to you in your life, you can say you're entering into the middle stage of devotion, or the Madhyamadikari devotee. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, this is where the real work takes place for our sadhana. The real sadhana takes place for the Madhyamadikari devotee, because the neophyte devotee, he doesn't care, can do anything and everything, go anywhere and everywhere, eat anything and everything, all these things. But the Madhyamadikari must take special care of his life and his, you know, his family, his whole life is governed by those principles that he's learned now. And so the main thing that we're doing with our sadhana is we're trying to rid ourselves of these anarthas. So, you know, although it's given in stages, and then from bhajana kriya, then anartha nivritti, the ridding yourself of all the unwanted things. And that's described like, I don't know if any of you have ever made ghee, but you put butter in a pot, and you boil it at a very slow boil, slow temperature. And as it boils, all of the solids or the impurities, they rise to the top of the pot. And your job is then you have to skim them off, skim off the impurities. It takes many hours, skimming as they rise to the top, and until you're left just with the butter oil itself. And that's now ghee. That's the difference between butter and ghee. So, you know, like in Krishna consciousness, our sadhana is something like that. We're boiling that butter, you can say, and all of the impurities, the anarthas, they're rising to the surface. And you're going to have to face those things. Sometimes we often hear from many devotees, sometimes I think this, and I was never like that before I was a devotee. Why? Because it was pushed down. It was hidden. But the thing with Krishna consciousness is it brings it up. Now you have to face that anartha and rid yourself of that anartha. It's something like in homeopathic medicine, they call it the law of cure, which means before you get better, your symptoms are going to get worse. Because rather than forcing the symptoms inwardly, as allopathic medicine does, hides the symptom or conceals the symptom, and you think it's gone, but it's just been forced deeper into your system. Whereas in homeopathy, it means the symptom has to come to the surface. And that means, actually, they call that the law of cure. So that means it's working. You're getting better. It's coming to the surface now. Now you can deal with it, rid yourself of it. So like that in Krishna consciousness, all of these anarthas, they come to the surface. So, but what also Sridhar Maharaj said was that this, between bhajana kriya and nishta means like firm faith, that means you can't be moved. You're fully established in your sadhana, in your belief, in your faith, all of these things, nobody can move you. That's called nishta. But Guru Maharaj said from bhajana kriya through anartha nivritti to nishta, that's a huge journey. Maybe more than even, than just one life. It may be many lives to do that anartha nivritti. And also Srila Sri Rama said that he told us the brother of Professor Sanyal, who was considered like maybe the best scholar of the Gaudiya Math in the time of Saraswati Thakur, his brother came to stay in the temple for some time. And he asked him, when do we become free of anarthas? And after considering very carefully, then Professor Sanyal, his reply was, we never become free of anarthas. Because there's always something. There's layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. And as a devotee progresses in Krishna consciousness, they become much more aware of those anarthas than before. So therefore we see that the great devotees, the highest devotees, they always think themselves to be extremely unqualified, extremely sinful, extremely, like full of anarthas. So because of that, we can never say, oh yeah, now I'm free of anartha. Last Thursday, my last anartha went, and here I'm in nishta. This is it. This is great. Like, come on, let's all. No, the devotee never feels like that. And Guru Maharaj said, if you think you've got it, then you're very far away from it. So it's a kind of a peculiar thing. Actually, that's what Guru Maharaj said. Bhakti is so peculiar that you cannot detect it in yourself. You can only see it in others. But when we do see it in others, and we see that our God brothers and sisters are actually becoming free of anarthas, are actually advancing in Krishna consciousness, then that proves to us the reality of Krishna Bhakti. And that's a wonderful thing. So, and this is our main sadhana, is the removal of the anarthas. And it doesn't mean you have to like separately try to do that. But we do that by the aid of the sadhana which has been prescribed to us. Just like when you go to the doctor, he'll give you a prescription, maybe he'll give you a diet, some things that you have to follow. When you follow that, to become free of whatever ailment you have. So, we're in this material world full of, the material disease, so to say. And the expert doctors, Sri Gurudev, he's come to give us the prescription, the holy name of Krishna, the association of the Vaishnavas, Mahaprasadam of the Lord, hearing the Harikatha of the Lord, joining in the program and bhajans, worshipping the Lord in all of these ways. All of these things are like the medicine that's been prescribed for us. And if we follow that, and if we follow the diet, and if at the same time we don't do the things that are harmful to our progress in devotional service, then we will progress, and we'll see that everyone is progressing. Maybe not all at the same time, but we see that. And if you stick around long enough, you can witness that. People who came to the temple, sometimes half mad, and then, 5, 10 years, 20 years later, they're like our best devotees, full, brimming with Krishna consciousness. And when we see that, it gives us much hope and much faith in this process of Krishna consciousness. So, this is why we do this bhakti sadhana, practice this, so that we can rid ourselves of everything within us that isn't favorable to Krishna consciousness. We want to shed that from us, and we want to fill ourselves up with that which is favorable to Krishna consciousness. We may not actually be in Krishna consciousness fully yet, but at least we're going on the path. We're going in the right direction. We're doing the right things. We're following the diet. We're taking the medicine faithfully every day. And the result will come. Definitely the result will come. We have faith in that. So this is what bhakti sadhana means, that anartha nivritti has begun. Anartha, the removal of those unwanted things. They'll come up and face you face to face, and you can deal with them. And if you don't deal with them, they'll just go back down again into the butter. And then later on, they'll come up to the surface again. And then so deal with them the first time if you can. And how do we deal with them when we feel overwhelmed? Seek out the help of the devotees. The devotees are our real friends. And don't think that there's something that you're going through that no one will be able to understand, that no one will be able to appreciate. Believe me, everyone has gone through everything, more or less, and it may not be identical, but it will be something similar. Because we're all on a journey, as they say, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So, then we know, the devotees have gone through all of these things. And if they haven't gone through all these things, they know somebody who has. Or there's examples in the scripture of those very things that we experience in our own life. You'll find so much help. And that's what we need. We need to not be afraid to ask for help from the devotees. And they're always willing to help us. That's what it means. The sadhu is always willing to help, even if they know. We know this story. I'm sure many of you know this story of the sadhu wanting to cross the river, and it was like in the middle of the night. There's no ferry. There's no bridge. There's no boat. So the only way is to swim across. So the sadhu's preparing to swim across the river, and a scorpion comes. And Scorpion says, "Oh, sadhu, will you also take me across the river? And I can sit on your head. And if you swim across, then, I also get to the other side." And then the sadhu says, "But if you sting me while I'm taking you across, then I'll drown and you'll drown. We'll both die." No, I won't sting you. I promise I won't sting you." So the sadhu says, "Okay, climb on board." Scorpion climbs on they're halfway across the river, and of course the scorpion stings him. And the sadhu says, "Oh, you stung me." And the scorpion says, "Yes, I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. I can't help it. It's just in my nature. I can't help it." And the sadhu says, "Yes, I know." And then the scorpion says, "If you know, then why did you agree to take me across?" And the sadhu says, "Because I'm a sadhu, and that's what we do. We're always trying to help somebody else, even when we know they're probably going to sting us." So just as you can't change your nature, the sadhu also cannot change their nature. And for us, that's a great blessing, that the sadhus always want to help us. And really, the real sadhus are the Vaishnavas. You may see many in India, many sadhus with the big hair and beards and, so many things. But really, the sadhus are those who are the sold out devotees of Lord Krishna, those who've given their whole life for serving Lord Krishna and his devotees. They're the association that we're looking for. Don't be enamored by anything else. And everything will be wonderful. That journey will become wonderful in their association. So anyway, that's my contribution to the topic this evening. Thanks, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Well, we are all joyful that Devashish Prabhu is back in good health, and we can only see good health, because actually flowing with life, and Prabhu, much appreciated. So now I have to come to what I'm engrossed in what you're telling us. Now, I thought today, we've got some quotes, no doubt, but I also thought today that it's a coincidence or not. We cannot say what is coincidence, but here in Bila Govinda Ashram in the morning, at this very time, okay, now it's evening, but at this very time means these days, we are reading the chapter 23 in the Parayam, the continuous reading of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when I saw the title, this is exactly what we've just been reading in Mahaprabhu's instructions to Sanatana Goswami. So I can read just a few verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so this is, now I have to find it. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 23. And first of all, the very beginning verse of every chapter is special because it's introducing the chapter. And it's in Sanskrit, it's an original Sanskrit verse composed by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And these verses, these first verses of each chapter are literally carved in marble on the walls of the Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Memorial Building, which came to Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's care in Vrindavan. And Gurudev had these verses engraved there in marble. So, Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, and Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, and Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has made Chaitanya Charitamrita available to the whole world.
Jai.
So this first verse, it is Sanskrit, I'll do my best. It's Chirad Adattang Nija Gupta Vittam Svaprema Namamritam Atyudaraha Aphamarang Yo Vitatara Gauraha Krishno Jane Yastam Ahang Prapadye. But the translation is, the most munificent Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Gaura Krishna, distributed to everyone, even the lowest of men, his own confidential treasury in the form of the nectar of love of himself and the holy name. This was never given to the people at any time before. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. And then the chapter begins with glories unto the Lord. And I'll just come straight to verse 3. I'll simply read you what Mahaprabhu said. Okay, I'm going to read you the Bengali too, because any of you, Rupak and others are here who do know Bengali. And the Bengali is very sweet, and it has something special about it. The translation, it's wonderful, it's coming from Srila Prabhupada, but the Bengali is also wonderful. So verse 3, so Mahaprabhu is continuing to speak to Sanatana Goswami. Ebe shunna bhakti phala prema prayojana jahara shravane hoya Bhakti Rasa Jnana. So Mahaprabhu continued, now hear, O Sanatan, about the result of devotional service, which is love of Godhead, life's ultimate goal. One who hears this description will be enlightened in the transcendental rasas of devotional service. So I'll just keep going a little bit. There's only a few verses. When affection for Krishna becomes deeper, one attains love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called sthayi bhava, permanent enjoyment of the rasas of devotional service to Krishna. And I'll just keep. Okay, the next verse, it is a quote from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's Sanskrit translation. When devotional service is executed on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a sun ray of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated in bhava, emotion, genuine emotion. Then bhava, emotion, Mahaprabhu is explaining in Bengali, has two different symptoms, constitutional and marginal. Now, my dear Sanatan, listen to the symptoms of love. So the next verse is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When that bhava softens the heart completely, softens the heart completely. Oh, right. So this is a list of things. When that bhava softens the heart completely, comma, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord, and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called prema, love of Godhead, by learned scholars. And then, verse from the Narada Pancharatra, yes, also found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Quote, when one develops an unflinching sense of ownership or possessiveness in relation to Lord Vishnu, or in other words, when one thinks Vishnu and no one else to be the only object of love, such an awakening is called Bhakti by exalted persons like Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhava, and Nara. Then in Bengali, Mahaprabhu saying, Konna bhagye, konna jivera, shraddha jadi hoya, tabe se jiva, sadhu sangha je karaya. If by good fortune a living entity develops faith in Krishna, he begins to associate with devotees. Then sadhu sangha hoite hoya, shravana kirtana, sadhana bhakti hoya, savanata nivatana. So this verse, when one is encouraged in devotional service by the association of devotees, one becomes free from all unwanted contamination by following the regulative principles and chanting and hearing. Okay, I thought there was a purport from Srila Prabhupada. Then, when one is freed from all unwanted contamination, which is the Anartha nivritti. Okay, so Anartha nivritti hoile, bhakti nishta hoya, nishta hoite shravanadye ruchi upajaya. So when one is freed from all unwanted contamination, he advances with firm faith. When firm faith in devotional service awakens, a taste for hearing and chanting also awakens. Then, ruchi hoite bhakti hoya, ashakti prachura, ashakti hoite chitte janme krishne pritya ankura. So after taste is awakened, a deep attachment arises, and from that attachment, the seed of love for Krishna grows in the heart. And then just a couple more. Se bhava gada hoila dhare prema nama, se prema prayojana savananda dhamma. When that ecstatic emotional stage intensifies, it is called love of Godhead. Such love is life's ultimate goal and the reservoir of all pleasure. And then Mahaprabhu himself, while talking to Sanatana Goswami, is then chanting those verses that Sripad Devashish Prabhu just now was mentioning, those Sanskrit verses, Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivritti Syat Tato Nishta Ruchis Tataha Atar Saktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Vyudhanchati Sadhakanam Ayam Premna Pradhur Bhave Bhavet Kramaha. Hare Krishna. And then very famous verse, Satang Prasangan Mama Virya Sangvido Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayana Kataha Taj Joshanad Ashvapa Varga Atmani Shraddha Rati Bhaktir Anukram Mishyati. Hare Krishna. Okay, I better not read the whole of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll just give you a part. But it is so wonderful. And we were just reading this today. And then Devashish Prabhu, he gave this title. And it is so, it's like we can't say straight from the horse's mouth, can we? It's straight from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mouth about this very process. And what does it mean to come into association with the devotees? It means that we're going to come. And yes, we're going to get magnetized by their magnetic influence. We're going to get heated by their heat. This example is given as being transmitted. But we're going to be given some guidance of what to do and what not to do, no doubt. And I do have another quote, but this quote, this is from Srila Govinda Maharaj. And I just do want to read it because it's Gurudev's, like his own speaking, but very much to the point. So I'm going to read a few words from Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. Sadhu Sangha, which we were just heard from Mahaprabhu about, one will want to come into the association of devotees and hear from them. So Sadhu Sangha means trying to practice our spiritual life under the guidance of a sadhu. Sadhu Sangha means following the instructions given by the sadhu, not imitating the sadhu's behavior. And Srila Gurudev, just a short excerpt, Srila Gurudev saying, if someone can properly follow the sadhu's instructions and proceed under the sadhu's guidance, then they will be engaged in bhajana kriya, real spiritual practicing life. Through proper bhajana kriya, we will come to the stage of Anartha nivritti, the removal of our unwanted habits. In the stage of Anartha nivritti, our hankering for mundane things will leave us. Our senses will become controlled, and our conditioned nature will be removed. Anartha nivritti will not happen, however, unless we proceed in our bhajana kriya with strong faith, love, and affection. For anartha nivritti to come to us, love and affection for other practitioners is necessary. I am going to continue a little bit because Gurudev does make some very good point in a moment. Very good point. Gurudev continuing. Practicing life is suffering life, within quotes. Practicing life is suffering life. Practicing life is not an easy life. Maybe I shouldn't be reading this part. In the beginning, we have to say, no, it's easy, it's free, everybody can chant Hare Krishna. But here, Gurudev is giving a little inside view of practicing our devotional life. So the Gurudev is saying, practicing life is not an easy life, okay? If we do not have love and affection for other practitioners, it will be too painful, and we will not be able to proceed successfully. And then Gurudev says, why should we suffer more than we already are in this mundane world? We should be humble, be tolerant, give honor to others, and make everyone our friend. In this way, we can proceed happily in our practicing life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Anyway, these are a couple of quotes, and there are quotes from Srila Guru Maharaj. Everywhere we are being encouraged to engage in sadhana, and that sadhana, the regular practice as has been given to us by our masters, is the very means to come to the prayojana, the goal. And the goal is easy to say, but it is the fact. It is love of God. It is Krishna prema. The goal is that. And so when we can keep being reminded of where we are going, where this road goes, then we can also hopefully keep up our sadhana, our daily practices. And when we are with other devotees, it's much easier because everybody's getting up early, everyone's doing the regular routine of the aratis and the bhajans, reminding each other the meanings, sharing the things which are happening in their days, which are happening in life, but with a new vision, if you like, the new view of the way we are being taught to see things in relation to the Lord. And so our Prabhu Kohe Kohela, E Mahamantra, Iha Japa, and step by step, we need to follow the instruction of Mahaprabhu, the instruction of Rupa Goswami, the instruction of our Sampradaya. And right in front of us, we've got the direct setup, sadhana, arrangement for our healthy life given to us by Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he set up Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for the benefit of others, for his own sadhana, his own sadhana. He's already doesn't need sadhana as we need sadhana, but it becomes the automatic practice. Guru Maharaj was constantly chanting, Guru Maharaj constantly only talking about Hari Katha. And so Guru Maharaj, he set up the morning, daytime, evening programs, the sadhana, the activities which are favorable for devotional service. That example, what songs, what to do, when to do. This guideline, this framework has been given to us. And Guru Maharaj wanted us to follow that. Gurudev wants us to follow that. And so if we really can see that it is all truthful, that it's beneficial, then we may find a little difficulty along the way, as Gurudev gave a hint, but we should keep on going. And then the unwanted things will fall away by themselves. Some other promises there that they will fall away by themselves at a certain stage. And Guru Maharaj said about when unwanted things come to attack us, if we keep them away first time, then maybe a little hard to keep them away. But don't allow them to come in, to keep them. Okay, they're coming, knocking on the door, trying to come to attack, but keep them away. And then they will retire. Say, oh, we can't disturb him. Then after a while, they'll think, okay, let's go back. Let's go back and try again. They try again a second time. But if they're kept back, then they go away. And then Guru Maharaj said, maybe a third time they will come. But when again they are being refused entrance, then after that they say, oh, we won't go to try to trouble him. We're wasting our time. We can't get in. So we must address the various anarthas, the unwanted things in us. We must be conscious about them. But we also do look forward. We look up to that time when the sweetness of Krishna and devotional life and being with devotees will automatically remove everything unwanted from us, everything mundane. And unwanted things means mundane things. So many things in this world. We look up to when they will all leave, but in the meantime, we'll be attentive. Not let them come once, not let them come twice, not let them come 3 times, and then they'll go away. And another place, Srila Guru Maharaj, in one of the sermons books, he says about cultivating the Bhakti Lata creeper from the seed to the sprout to the growth, and then all the way through to the fruit. About cultivating the Bhakti Lata creeper, we must be careful about unwanted creepers coming up. So again, we must give attention and not just think, oh, I'm doing my sadhana, so everything will automatically, the unwanted things will automatically drop away. Guru Maharaj said we must be careful about that. And when we see the unwanted creepers growing alongside the main creeper, as soon as we see them growing, as soon as we find the weeds, the unwanted things growing, we should pull them out and throw them away. And he said, if we don't deal with them at the beginning, then we will be in much difficulty. So much difficulty to uproot, to take out those deeply rooted anarthas later on, if we give them cultivation, if we nourish them at the same time as the Bhakti Lata. Hare Krishna. And Rupa Goswami has given a promise. In the beginning, then spiritual life and our chanting, our practices of chanting may not be so tasty, but as we take the medicine, we will find it becomes tasty. We realize, oh, really it is tasty. My tongue was at fault. Sugar is sweet. Sugar is sweet. It's not that it becomes sweet when we become healthy. Sugar is sweet. And the holy name and everything about Krishna is sweet. But our tongue is diseased. But by taking the medicine of the holy name, which may be a little unpalatable in the beginning, then gradually our tongue starts to taste something sweet and we don't want to leave it. This is the promise. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. And I heard this week, 3 days ago, from Priya Bhakta Prabhu, whose picture is in front of us here, that he'll be coming to Thailand to the gathering, the Kartik gathering this year too. So we're looking forward to that. Hare Krishna. Bhakti online to everyone. Veda. Oh, I see. Database. Oh, you put the database. Okay, good. That's intelligent. Thank you very much to put that. Should I ask if anyone has a question? No. Hare Krishna. What is sadhana? Sadhana is happy daily practices for devotional life. Oh, happy. Okay, we just added the word happy, didn't we? Govinda, Govinda. Devashish Prabhu, I'm going to pass the microphone back to you.
Okay, Maharaj. So, yeah, time's nearly gone already.
You and I were very chatty today.
Yes, yes. So, does anyone have a question, or should we finish up? Something. What's that?
Praneshwari Devidasi. Sadhana Bhakti, engagement of the senses in devotional practices aimed at uncovering the eternal nature of the soul. The first of the 3 stages of Bhakti, followed by Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Okay, Praneshwari, thank you very much.
I have just a small question, if I can.
Yes, please ask Devashish Prabhu.
Yes, I just don't want to finish too soon. So maybe it's a silly question again. It's about this love and affection towards other practitioners. Could you give some practitioners practicing tips how to acquire that?
Well, in my experience is that just happens naturally. You know, like if we think of this idea that birds of a feather flock together, certainly we'll be drawn to devotees of a similar nature, or like simpatico with us, that we feel, you know, let's be honest, we can't say that, you know, we get on with everyone, we love everyone, you know, there are always sometimes clashes of personalities, but at the same time there's always certain personalities that we are attracted to, and they also may be attracted to us in some way, like a kind of symbiosis. We're able to help each other. And then just naturally, when we serve together and try to go forward together, and naturally loving feelings will come. Just like in the material world, we meet people and we fall in love with them. So similarly, you know, in devotion, we meet devotees and we fall in love with them, not in any kind of, you know, carnal way or anything like that, but just that affection grows there, you know, and it just happens naturally. So, and sometimes we have to maybe try to be careful not to judge others, you know, like not if we don't look at other devotees with an eye to find fault with them, if we look at them and try to see the goodness in all the devotees and you know, to really appreciate their good qualities, because everybody has some good qualities, and especially the devotees, they have so many wonderful good qualities. They're trying to serve Krishna. Like, what could be better than that? How more wonderful could we have friends that also want to worship Krishna like we want to worship Lord Krishna, and maybe they want to worship Lord Krishna more than we do. And if we become friends with them, that will become rub off on us. We'll also want to worship Lord Krishna more earnestly. And as we go through our life, then definitely we'll find that our relationship with the devotees becomes a loving relationship. We see that they're, you know, by the grace of Srila Gurudev, especially of Srila Govinda Maharaj, I can say, he created a very big family of devotees. His whole approach was to make a family, like a family of devotees. He would say, you know, when they would ask him at the customs, why are you coming to this country at the immigration? That more or less always his answer would be, I've come to see my family and friends, to be with my family and friends. So, you know, that's like his conception. And he, as Madhusudan Maharaj was reading, you know, practice humility and tolerance, give honor to everyone, and try to make everyone your friend. And Srila Gurudev, you know, he said I may not be able to remember the exact quote, but basically he said, this word in Bengali, bandhu, means friend. So it's a very heavy word. He says that, you know, if you say to someone, I'm your bandhu, that means that through thick or thin, I'm with you. You know, when you haven't got anything, I'm there. I'll feed you and I'll feed your children. I'll clothe you. I'll look after you. And, you know, we'll take care of each other. And finally, in the final time, I'll be there to put the wood to the fire to burn your body. Well, you know, we'll always be together. Then he said, this is the relationship I want to enter into with all of you. This kind of friendship, that is what I'm talking. Well, I'm offering that kind of friendship to you. And really, you know, I mean, when you have a master like that, how can you not feel affection and love for his devotees? It's just natural. It's just natural, because you know that you can always see the in the children, you can see the father. So those who have, you know, who have love for an appreciation for Srila Gurudev, we can see that they reflect his loving nature. And when we make friends with them, that is a very deep friendship. And yeah, definitely love comes, and it comes naturally. What more can I say?
Home comfort.
Yes.
Includes all of that natural, loving relationship. And we do have a question from Priya Bhakti Prabhu, but I think we need to keep it for next time because we have run over. But another thing is that Lavanya Moire Virasi, we've neglected West London. Please excuse, it is the London Zoom, and we've got Lavanya Moire Virasi, and we've got Devananda Prabhu seated there. And Priya Bhakti Prabhu is asking, what is the most powerful purging agent? Practice. So maybe, Lavanya, what are you going to say to us? Near the microphone, speak near the microphone, please.
Fine service, is that the question?
What is the most powerful purging agent?
Mantra must be.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah. The Maha Mantra we must get.
The Maha Mantra. Okay, there we are. Priya Bhakti Prabhu, you've got your answer. I see the sun is shining in West London.
Yes, it is. I thought I'd got through that Zoom safely, but no.
Lavanya. All is good. And what Tungarasa just put a last comment because we will wrap it up. I know Devashish also, he's the MC, but doesn't Krishna say the same about his relationship to the Jivatma? Oh, there's Saraswati also. Saraswati, Hare Krishna. Doesn't Krishna say the same about the relationship to the Jivatma? Means Krishna loving the Jivatma. Krishna loves the Jiva. Was this the relevant part? Tungarasa Didi, you can open your microphone. Maybe? Okay. Not sure.
Yes, Maharaj. I just was thinking this what Sripad Vashis Prabhu said about Gurudev and his strong this term about Bandhu. And I was thinking that Krishna says actually the same, that he is everything to the Jiva, the most close to everyone, and the most of the most in every circumstance.
And the first verse we read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita today was saying basically about the Lord's loving search for his lost servant. It's the Lord's loving search. He's not whipping everyone to come back home. He's engaged in a loving search for his lost servant. And this has never been given before. And he's distributing this right now. This is the age of Mahaprabhu. And so, yes, the Lord, he has his affectionate magnetism. And Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj was saying, and I don't have the quote right in front of me, but perhaps it was here in the London Zoom last week, recently, we did give a quote from Srila Guru Maharaj, where everything is attracting. In the physical world, there's gravity, all the planets are floating, atoms, neutrons, everything is attracting. So there's gravity everywhere. But when this attracting force comes into the realm of consciousness, then it is love. I mean, pure love, it is love. All of the relationships of sweetness, joy. And this is attraction. So everything is running with attraction. And the devotees are all attracted to each other. And the Lord is attracting also to the devotees. And this way, then the upper world, it is based on love and affection, on dedication, selflessness, all the things when there is love and affection, there's automatic selflessness for those that we love. Okay, dear devotees, we do need to continue. The world goes on and our world goes on here too. And Devashishu, I pass the microphone to you as the MC in good health this week. We're happy to see. And Ishanuga there beside you, to Ishanuga.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. Vaishnav Sevankari Brinda ki Jai. All glories to all the assembled devotees everywhere. And to Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
And Jai Shripad Devashish Prabhu ki Jai, and to all of our translators ki Jai, very hard saver, and to all of our listeners ki Jai, and our obeisances to you all. Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo. With all best wishes, and wonderful to see each of you with us. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari.
Hare Krishna.